Golden State Warriors owner Joe Lacob has been facing backlash for a scheduling conflict that forced Golden State Valkyries of the WNBA, which Lacob also owns, to play their first home playoff game at the SAP Center in San Jose rather than the Chase Center, per Kendra Andrews of ESPN. The Valkyries clinched their first ever WNBA playoff appearance last week, the first expansion team in WNBA history to do so. From September 19th to 21st, the Chase Center will be hosting the Laver Cup tennis tournament instead of the Valkyries playoff game. As such, many Valkyries fans will have no choice but to travel to San Jose to see their favorite WNBA franchise's first home playoff game, as the Chase Center will need time to prepare for the event. Due to this, Lacob has been taking plenty of heat for the scheduling conflict, with Warriors forward Draymond Green defending Lacob in a reply to a fan on Threads. "Joe probably did everything he could to cancel that event at Chase," Green said, "and is probably losing it on anyone who had something to do with that scheduling." Of course, while it's not the infamous Oracle Arena, the Warriors have always had one of the best home court advantages in sports, which has translated to the Chase Center since the team started playing there in 2019. That excitement has translated to the WNBA edition, as the Valkyries sold out all 22 of their home games this season. The Golden State Warriors are at a standstill with 22-year-old forward Jonathan Kuminga. The rumor around the league is that he doesn't want to be a part of the organization, but they have not found a suitable trade for him. One possibility proposed by Sports Illustrated's Liam Willerup is to team up with the Boston Celtics to acquire Stephen Curry's next splash bro. While the Celtics haven't shared any desire to part ways with Derek White, the combo guard will be 32 years old at the start of next season, when Boston will look to be contending again, Willerup said Sunday. That doesn't mean he's going to fall off then, but the Celtics could be interested in more of a youth shift to extend their contention window. There are no specific details on the exact trade, but it would revolve around a Derek White, Jonathan Kuminga swap. White fits the mold of what the Warriors could need, a defensive-minded but not offensively limited guard next to Curry, and age doesn't seem to be a problem. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum is likely out for all of next year, and Kuminga could be granted the opportunity to prove himself with a bigger role. We know that White is more of an off-the-ball type of player, which makes him the perfect third option behind Curry and Jimmy Butler. At this point, the Warriors should be jumping on any offer thrown for Kuminga, and White is certainly better than him walking in unrestricted free agency. Golden State Warriors fans are likely tired of hearing about Jonathan Kuminga's confusing status with the franchise. At this point, the two sides should have reached an agreement, but it appears that a deal, a one-year, $7.9 million qualifying offer or a two-year, $45 million contract, isn't particularly close to being completed. However, if Kuminga eventually returns to the Dubs for the 2025-26 season, Sports Illustrated's Liam Willerup has an intriguing midseason trade idea involving the NBA champion forward. Willerup believes the Warriors could trade Kuminga to the Cleveland Cavaliers for a 6'9" center. Even though the Warriors are rumored to have a handshake deal with Al Horford to assume their starting center position once he can officially sign, the 39-year-old center doesn't help Golden State's lack of youth, Willerup wrote Sunday. If the Warriors want to swing for the fences, targeting Cleveland Cavaliers center Jarrett Allen could give them that interior force they need and allow them to keep Draymond Green from getting banged up night after night. For this to happen, the Cavaliers would need to be underwhelming next season, and moving off Allen would allow them to run Evan Mobley at center and go small with Kuminga at the 4. Allen's contract jumps from $20 million to $28 million for the 2026-27 season, so the window to trade for him would be before the 2026 deadline. Allen has the luxury of boasting about being the most efficient big man in the NBA. The Texas product connected on a remarkable 70.6% of his field goals last season, showing he's near automatic as a rim runner, lob threat, and jump hook specialist in the low post. Still, if Cleveland were forced to choose, it's reasonable to assume the organization would feel more comfortable moving forward with the younger and more versatile Mobley, which would undoubtedly be music to the Warriors' ears. With Looney out of the fold and Horford on his last leg, trading for Allen would give the Dubs an above-average frontcourt unit next season. Considering a Kuminga split is inevitable, Allen should be on Golden State's radar during the upcoming NBA campaign. The 2025 NBA offseason hasn't gone as originally planned for the Golden State Warriors. As the franchise has yet to come to a contract agreement with forward Jonathan Kuminga, the Warriors have been stagnant all summer, still the only team yet to add or resign a player. Though the Kuminga situation has no clear timeline for getting solved, there is a player who, if Golden State trades for, could fix what has been the dominant storyline in the Bay Area over the past few months. Writing for Bleacher Report, Andy Bailey discussed why the Warriors would be interested in a player like Kelly Oubre in Philadelphia 76ers trade talks. Familiarity is at least a part of why the Golden State Warriors are here. Oubre played for them during the 2020-21 campaign, when he averaged 15.4 points and 1.6 threes, Bailey wrote. The Warriors need more punch off the bench and currently only have 9 players under contract. Though his one season in Golden State didn't lead to championship success, Oubre was the third highest scorer on that iteration of the team. As the Sixers look to be in a precarious situation with their injuries and younger players, Oubre could be a candidate to be traded to a contender this summer or before the deadline, according to Jake Fisher. Warriors' quiet offseason. More than 2 months into free agency, the only roster changes made by Golden State have been losing Kevin Looney to the New Orleans Pelicans. As of early September, the Kuminga holdout has dominated their summer, and a deal still isn't close to being made, according to recent reports. While the Warriors are still expected to sign former Boston Celtics center Al Horford and resign DeAnthony Melton, the franchise has still been quiet when it comes to player signings, now just less than a month before training camp. Golden State has reportedly offered Kuminga the qualifying offer, which would mean he would make around $7.9 million next season and become a free agent in the summer of 2026. But while he wants a deal closer to $20 to $30 million over multiple years, the team may have better success trading the young forward for a piece better suited to slide into their roster with championship aspirations. Kuminga has been mock-traded to teams around the league, but while Golden State will want to find an adequate replacement for both his scoring and bringing a greater two-way presence, there's one name that has yet to be mentioned: Kelly Oubre as a Kuminga situation fix. In steps Oubre, who over the past few seasons has been one of the more under-the-radar scorers in the league. He's averaged at least 15 points over the last 7 seasons for the Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Charlotte Hornets, and Sixers. His shooting numbers have room for improvement, but as seen with those who play with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, the floor spacing is on a different level when it comes to the Warriors. Additionally, his athleticism and paint presence on both sides of the court would be a plus for this Golden State roster. At least in theory, a downhill scoring threat like Oubre should be able to pull some defenses inward and away from shooters like Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, and Brandon Podziemski, Bailey wrote. Oubre is in the last year of his deal, making roughly $8.4 million for the Sixers, but could replace Kuminga as a more experienced option on the wing for the Warriors. As Fisher reported, the Sixers are reportedly interested in moving on from Oubre, as with the recent surgeries of Joel Embiid and Paul George, the franchise looks to be heading into a new era led by Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and VJ Edgecombe. Golden State has been quiet all summer, but now with Oubre potentially available, he could be a fix to what has been a months-long issue for the team.